welcome to the show.
Wow, wait. Brain Candy Podcast, episode 908. What song is that? Is that
Pink?
a Pink?
Well, I was singing the beginning of it, then I went off the rails, but I was singing, let's get this party started on a Saturday night. Everybody's waiting.
I haven't heard that one in a minute. That actually, as I watched a doc about writing a song, but first I want to ask you, how are you?
I'm
What are
doing
you
so good.
doing? People want to know. You look cute as a button.
Oh my God, it's the fake tanner.
Oh my God, I sent
Don't be
Sarah a
fooled.
link to the best fake it Tanner.
She's not an ad, just
I'm
like
changing
the facts.
lives. I'm
You really
changing
are.
lives.
I put it on one time because my girlfriend is one of those annoying people
I hate her.
that
I
go
don't
in
even
the
know what you're gonna
sun
say.
for 2 seconds.
And then they're a bronze goddess.
A bronzed goddess with them, and she's aging backwards, no wrinkles. I stare at
Fuck
her
you.
face. Oh,
I gotta delete
you got to delete her name. I stare at her when we're driving, and I go and make Botox appointments because I'm like, look at how
Right.
you have. And she goes,
It's not
well, you don't need that. I go,
fair.
I'm noticing mine because you don't have any.
It's
She goes, well, tell me when I need that. And I'm like, you don't, and I hate it. So
Yeah.
she's a bronze goddess. So I have to like throw it because we're going to be in
typical of
in-
Jews. I gotta
in a-
say, are we allowed to say that she's a Jew?
Yeah,
Do I have to
I've
edit
already
this
said
whole
that.
thing
I already
out?
said that. I said
Okay.
Jewish lesbian. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, but that's not typical. Oh, I guess sometimes.
Yeah, my ex was like that too. I think
Yeah.
certain areas, it's like kind of like that olive skin and
Yeah.
damn,
The old Mediterranean.
it is
the Fertile
so
Crescent.
nice. And I'm just like, you're so soft, and I'm just like sandpaper. But don't worry,
I don't have
we've
these gifts. Yeah,
buffed
we
and
have to buy
scrubbed.
it.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm like an old leather bag here, but you know what? A good one, a sturdy one.
Yeah, that's right. We have other things to offer.
Yeah.
like our hilarious
Yeah,
personalities.
I'm like charming personality.
I'm a delight.
You need
Okay.
you need something on a high shelf. I'll get it for you. I'm a little taller, so
Is your partner a little bit on the short side?
not short, but shorter than me.
Well, yeah.
You know,
All right. Okay.
she's
well,
gonna be like,
I'm, happy
I'm
for
not
you.
that
I'm sick
short.
of it,
So
though.
funny. Yeah, but no, things are good. Life is great. I'm happy as a clam because I'm doing this whole thing called getting outside and exercising.
The old vitamin
Turns
D
out,
routine.
Real
She's
real
touching
good.
grass.
It's real good for you. So
My God.
yeah,
Well, I'm happy for you.
yeah,
And it sounds nice. I'm over here living the heterosex
yeah. Oh,
life. Less good.
I'm
Less
sorry
good.
for you. I pray for you.
I'm praying where you're praying. Nothing's working. But otherwise doing well. Lincoln is crushing it in his
Great.
OCD clinic.
No,
I'm so proud
how's
of
he
him.
doing on the old not get in detention and get a cat? Oh,
Still getting a cat.
this is so fun. I want to
It's
send it.
so
I'm going
funny.
to text him and I'm going to be like, Lincoln, you hold out. You be real good. You're about to get this cat. Don't
I
let
don't
me
even
down.
think like it's like he doesn't even come home and say like I almost
Oh, it's
nothing.
because he knows. Wow, I love this for him.
I can't believe it.
What color
We're gonna
cat
just
do you
have,
think you're
like-
going to get?
He wants an orange.
I knew
one.
it. I was going to say you should get an orange cat. I knew it. I
Why?
fucking knew it. I was like, Lincoln wants an orange cat. I just got a download from the universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been getting more
Well-
and more of those lately, by the way.
Well, it is the family business.
Like,
I
I
mean,
had an
it's
experience the other day where it felt like somebody was telling me to tell somebody something from beyond the grave.
No way.
I'm not kidding. And I did.
Sarah, this is so exciting.
And they said that feels really good to hear.
You did it?
I did it.
Did they know what you meant? You know how
Yeah,
like,
but it was
John
somebody I
Edwards will be
knew.
like, does that
So it
does that
wasn't like
register for you
it
or
wasn't
whatever?
like it was an appropriate thing. It's like anybody would say that, but it felt like the feeling that I had made me cry in the moment.
Why?
Because I was like, whoa, that was, I was like,
tapping
I got to
into
go to the
something.
bathroom real quick. Like, it's like, what the hell? That was like, somebody was like, and then I said it wrong
Uh-oh.
and they made me correct it. And I felt satisfied when, you know, the feeling of like when you have an itch, you tell somebody to scratch your back and they come close and it feels sort of satisfying, but they haven't gotten the itch. And then you get it and it's like, there you go. That's what it felt like when I said the thing wrong and then corrected it and worded it right. And then she was like, there you go. What
Sally,
is that?
Are you hearing what I'm hearing?
That was
right now?
weird. I'm not saying what that is, but that was. I've never had that as clear as it was. Oh my God, I'm going to cry right now. What is happening? So
you know what? When spirit moves,
that's my mom would say that, but I don't know what that was.
That's what I'm saying.
And it was. I thought it would be scary, but it wasn't scary.
Yeah, because it's correct.
That's so weird. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. I did not think this was going to happen.
That's so nice for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I am also like delighted and tickled and will laugh about this forever.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun that now my co-host is psychic. Like it's like I've had several co-hosts, straight,
No,
gay,
I'm not saying
psychic,
I am.
therapist.
I'm not saying I am at all. I'm just saying I had an interesting experience where I felt compelled to say something. And isn't it weird how
You don't like labels.
I don't like labels.
Yeah, you don't. Okay,
I'm a therapist that picks up on vibes sometimes and has to verbalize them.
I wish you would tap into the spirit, though, that's like about reading fortunes and future stuff. Because, you know, talking to dead people is okay if you're grieving and you want peace or whatever. But I'm looking for like, hey, can you please tell me what to do with my life? Oof. That's what I want from you, you know?
Yeah.
Sarah?
I don't know if it works like that.
Well, put in a suggestion.
I think you're more in control of that than I am. I think
How the hell am I
think
know?
It's more like the this is a simulation and you can make it what you want it to be kind of thing.
You know, Lincoln and I did have a moment the other day.
Oh, tell me.
Not about my future, but he had brought a deck of cards into a restaurant, and we were joking about how I was going to know the cards. And then I was like, all right, you're going to show me that card, and it's a 7 of hearts. And he looked at it, and he goes, what did you say? Like, he was freaked out.
Oh, my God. See, I think that's when it happens. When you don't care and when you're, like, being really just blasé because there's no doubt there isn't that doubt. You're almost saying that, like, yeah, sure. Like, there's,
yeah,
you know?
He was like, I think he was genuinely like,
I don't know. But I've been watching a lot of Black Mirror lately, so it just gives ideas about what the future could be like. And I don't know, this whole quantum universes, what is reality?
I should add to this that I did give Sarah a little surprise.
Yeah, you did. I did
today.
take advantage of it.
I wanted her to get some wacky tobacco just for funsies. Yeah. And I think she did.
I did.
I think she is tapped in. So this will be a great episode.
That's right.
Excited. Okay, let's just dive in then now that she's all riding the high. Okay, what would be the best for this? I don't know. How about The Pudding is a website that I love for research. It doesn't sound like research.
I definitely am stoned because I'm like, pudding sounds delicious.
Yeah, this is going to be great. And for real, it does not sound like a real research website, but it's one of my favorites of all time. And they've been crushing it lately. So there is an article that came out about onomatopoeias around the world for animal sounds.
Oh, I love these.
It's so fun.
Because, like, the chicken doesn't sound the same in different countries. Okay, this is hilarious.
So, in addition to just sort of exploring, like, okay, how do people say it around the world and whatever, they explain, like, why it differs and, like, how could it be that we all hear, like, a cat when a cat makes a sound.
Yeah.
And why would it be the case that in different areas that we would interpret it differently?
Okay, so, could this be one of those things, you know, when they play a sound and then they'll flash 2 different words and you will hear it differently depending on what you read? Have you seen those things?
That's what I thought.
Okay,
I thought the
because that's
same
what I would
thing.
think. I would think it's got to be something like that where we have a relationship to that sound and it sounds similar.
Exactly, because whenever I started playing the ones from around the world, they didn't sound like ours, but I was like, oh, I can hear that if I think about the animal.
Yeah.
And so I thought it'd be fun to play some of them,
Oh my gosh, I love this.
especially stoned, right?
I mean,
Okay, so this, of course,
this is going to be an extra giggly episode.
Good. Okay, so let's just start with cat, and of course in English.
Meow.
Okay,
Right.
well, you are
She's
missing a
lifeless.
golden opportunity to ask me what sound does this animal make. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. There's literally no better time for it.
Sarah, how would you do an impression of a cat?
Meow.
Oh, meow, meow. Okay, that's cute.
Meow.
So most of them are very similar, actually, with cat. However, those Asians,
Okay.
they got a little fast and loose, in my opinion.
Okay.
But then I heard it, and I was like, okay, I hear it.
Yeah.
Meow. Oh.
Yeah.
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 And then Koreans,
Yaum.
that one.
Oh, it's a
that one-
totally different starting sound.
Yeah, it's a J.
Because I do hear cats make that noise. Meow.
Yaum.
Meow.
I know. It's
Meow.
like, what are your cats
It's
doing
like-
over there?
Yeah, it's like the same thing, but from a different part of your throat.
Yeah.
Instead of from the lips, it's from your, like, deep in your throat more.
So
Interesting.
the typical ones, like the 14 of them, had like this certain pattern: a nasal, high front vowel, low vowel, and then a high
Yeah.
back vowel. But then those Asians, they didn't have that high back vowel. They sort of left it open, and they said that in Japanese, especially, they have a tendency towards open syllables. So like, you can see why they just wouldn't naturally want to close it in the way that we would.
Like in Thai, like sawadee ka, like that would be open. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not closed off at the end. And so
Meow.
the article,
Yeah, you can kind of hear the same. Yeah.
yeah. And like the article does a bunch, which I'll do some more, but like it's trying to show how, yes, we hear the sound from the animal, but then we also have these sort of cultural factors that influence like how we interpret it and how we culturally understand it. And like you're saying, they tend to do the words this certain way, so then they hear the cat,
They
and
hear
then they're going
the
to be
cat.
like, that cat's speaking Thai or
Yeah.
Korean or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Translate
so
it in a way.
This is let's see. Next one is duck.
Oh.
We're going to speak
Quack,
duck.
quack, quack,
Oh, there.
Quack, quack, quack.
There it is.
With
She
a Q.
rose
If
to
we're
the
going to do it
occasion.
like how you would write it, you'd say quack, quack, quack.
Yeah, and then how do you, like when you've heard a duck, how does it sound?
Quack, 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 quack.
Okay. Sarah. Okay, so this would be Chinese.
Ga.
Oh, that's very different.
Yeah. Turkish. Let's hear that one.
Look.
That kind of sounds like a duck, like kind of like a honk almost.
Okay. Oh,
You know what I
honk. I
mean?
wasn't even thinking about honk. That's like a goose.
Yeah, but you know,
Okay.
connect. Same type of deal. Like, okay, so this is their version of English.
Quack.
She's
Okay,
like so
quack.
flat. She's
She's
fucking
so
had, her,
flat.
had it with her
Boring.
job.
Quack. Quack.
How about this one though? This is French.
Coin.
Oh, that is not what a duck sounds like at all. A duck, okay. Is there a hard K sound in any French? Quebec. Yeah, there sure the fuck is.
Oh, like a Q. Yeah.
So there's, I was gonna say maybe I understand the Thai one where if it's not a shape that your mouth naturally makes when you speak
Yeah.
that language, maybe it wouldn't do the
but
same
you're
thing.
drawing the line with this.
That's a hard K sound at the end. Quack, quack, quack.
Oh, at the
quack,
end.
Quack, quack. They
Well,
dropped
this-
it. That was like a
Okay,
quack, quack,
interesting.
quack,
Well, listen
quack.
to Hungarian. Theirs does not have a hard K anywhere.
Hap.
That's a hat.
HAP is how they write it, like on here.
Hap, hap, hap.
H-
Okay.
Oh.
I can totally hear that though. If you say
But
the
when
word
you
like a
just
duck,
did it,
hap, hap,
yeah.
hap, 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 hap.
I mean, they do sound like that.
They do sound like
Those
this.
crazy bastards.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna
Sarah
do one
says
more.
animal sounds in different languages. Wow. I did not think that I would use a master's degree for this.
The hardest one I thought and like the most baffling was pig.
Okay.
Because let's face it, they don't say oink,
They do not say oink.
right?
They go, but that is
That's
hard to
right.
spell.
Yeah.
That probably is easier to spell in another language, and we're the ones who sound fucking weird. And everybody else listening to us is like, "That where the fuck did you get oink?"
It's weird though. That's not true though. That's what's really confusing to me is because English, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, Turkish, Hindi, Indonesian, and Arabic all have basically oink.
Huh.
And I don't understand.
Okay.
Is that baby ones, maybe?
Oink oink. Oh, oink 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 oink.
'Cause they're like,
oink
oink,
oink
oink,
oink oink
Yeah.
oink 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 oink.
It's so
They
cute.
do that. It's so cute.
get a
Also, when
pig.
you write the word oink, for some reason it looks like a pig to me.
I can see that.
Do you know what I mean?
Did I smoke weed?
Right, like O. The O is like the nose. The I. It just looks like a pig when you write the word oink. I don't know why that makes sense, but you know how like some words are things, just
Yeah.
like you have gender. That feels like a synesthesia
Like
thing.
boob.
Oink looks like a. That looks like a boob. I mean, the two O's are obvious.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It looks like boobs. Boob looks like boobs. I don't know.
Yeah.
More than oink looks like a pig. Fuck you, Sarah. Don't question it.
Hey, listen, I'm on board. I'm with you. I just heard this runner on somewhere on social media talk about how they always try to pick the number 9,009 on their running bib because when they look at it upside down, it looks like boobs. When they look at it in the mirror, it looks like poop. And
Wow. Was this a man or a woman?
a man. But
Okay.
I was like, that's very funny.
Okay, I'm going to pretend like that you didn't tell me that. But then these other words for pig sounds are totally different. Here's German.
Kunst.
Kunst. It's with a G. Goons?
They're doing it as grunts. They're phonetically doing it, but
Okay. No,
and
that's
then
hard.
French.
Groin.
This is Czech.
Maybe that's a snort. Wait, do that again.
Gro.
No
They're
way.
Czech people are out of their goddamn
That
minds.
sounds like, what animal does that sound like? That sounds like a dog when they have something caught in their throat.
Yeah,
and they do that.
donkey.
Yeah.
yeah. Right. But I did love the pudding. If you do not follow them on Instagram, you should, or subscribe to their newsletter. It's phenomenal, fun, accessible research, but excellent quality. And it said that onomatopoeia offers a fascinating glimpse into the interaction between sound and language and the way humans mimic the sounds reflect shared biological instincts, but also cultural filters. And it just is a way to understand the world in a fun, interactive way.
It's super interesting. You know what I hate? Edible onomatopoeias. That's what I call them. Words that sound the same way when you say them as when you chew them. There are 3 that I know of
boy.
that I hate.
I'm really
Yogurt-
getting my money's worth out of this.
Yogurt, banana, and gnocchi. They sound the
disagree
same
on
way when
all
you chew
3.
it. When
They
you eat
do
yogurt,
not.
you go yogurt. It makes like a like.
That is a real stretch.
No, and banana does the same thing, like banana. It like It definitely
mean-
does that, and I don't like it, and it freaks me out. And it's that G, that gnocchi, that I do not like hearing that if somebody else says it.
Wow.
I ordered at dinner the other night, and my brother was like, "Whoa, somebody's come a long way." And I was like, "Don't you dare say the word."
Wow.
He goes, "I won't," because I used to get mad, like throw
It's
a
so
temper
funny
tantrum.
that, like, when I was like, do you think maybe you might be autistic? You
Okay,
were like, I don't know. I've never really thought about
I
it.
didn't think about that would be one of them. That does
Everything you
make
say
sense.
now is like, I
Okay,
think
that
maybe
that
you're
does
on the
kind of. Nobody else
But-
thinks like that. Like there are words that you don't like to hear the sound of because they sound a way.
not,
that,
they
like,
do not sound like they do when you chew them.
Yeah, but I think it's the same argument for people who don't like the word gooey or moist.
It's not because
Why?
there's a a mechanic element and just another sensory element that you
guess so.
are adding. Because if
I
I
can
was
taste
like,
it
you know,
when you
like
do that.
chips. That's and you'd be like that. Okay,
But
well,
that
that's
sounds
a
nice because
stretch.
they crunch them and they do kind of sound like that. Chip, chip,
So
chip, chip,
they're
chip.
still that way, but you are
Okay, you're right.
offended
you're right.
by it.
I am offended. Right, you're right. Okay. We've unpacked nothing.
Oh, but you know what? I feel like we came a long way. All right. Well, at any rate, I thought that was cute and fun. And there you go.
I love that. Pudding. Look at that.
The pudding. Yep. And okay. I just have to vent about those goon ladies that went to space.
Oh my God. I hate this so much. As a lover of space, I am a big time hater of this. What has this done? You went up and down for 11 fucking seconds or minutes or whatever it was. I don't even care. And you went 63 miles up. No. This
Every
is the
part of it is
dumbest
disturbing.
publicity stunt, and just the people. The scientists, great, leave them. You are
They
not
should
an
have taken
astronaut.
Anna Delvey, that con artist lady. I'm surprised they didn't.
We are 3 years away from fucking Dancing with the
Apocalypse.
Stars on the moon, and what are we doing? And there are going to be starving people, and women don't have rights, but don't worry because we got Dancing with the Stars on the moon.
Right. It is so dumb.
I hate this. The only thing,
hate it.
and I hated their stupid outfits with their stupid
them.
lady uniforms that were so overly feminized. I fucking hated those stupid bell-bottom pants. That is a joke. I don't like that.
I don't like it.
I want a standard uniform for space travel that is not gendered. Look I am angry.
I
need
had
to
no
calm
idea
down.
this was inside of you. I need to calm down.
This might be a little bit of an overreaction.
I really set you up.
Yeah.
Well, but I share the sentiment because to me it felt like a real missed opportunity. You know, that we have an all-female rocket or whatever the fuck. And then that dumbass Sanchez bitch is like, we're going to be glam. Please don't.
I hate that. And what I really hate is that if you've been a listener of the podcast for a long time, you may remember that we talked probably like 2 or 3 years ago now about a planned mission that's coming up that had to be changed because of something that went wrong, that is an all-female crew going to the moon. That
That's right.
NASA's
Like a
doing.
legitimate-
That legit astronauts that train their life for this, that know about hearing Katy Perry talk about
hate
how
her
she
guts.
likes
I hate her
astrophysics
guts.
and astrology and astronomy, I wanted to die. I mean, you're allowed to like both, but that was not. What are we doing here?
Zip it, dummy.
What are we doing here?
We
I
are
can't.
trying to get equal pay over here.
I can't. And then what I really think this did is that devalues the all-female mission to the moon with all-female astronauts, and now those women cannot be the first all-female crew in space. Fucking Gail and Amazon
Sanchez.
Yeah, Mrs.
Lauren
Amazon
Sanchez.
and
There was one astrophysicist. I say tip
Right,
of the hat to
that's
her,
why the
but, like, she
scientists
probably
are-
fucking hated it.
and she definitely hated Katy Perry singing the whole way up.
Nobody wants to hear that.
You know what it made me rethink? The times that I would sing Disney songs in the back of the rickshaw on the way home from a challenge we just lost.
Yeah,
and
no one
Danny,
wants that.
I think it was Danny who, no, was it? I think it was Danny who lost it on me one day. No, it was Brad. Brad lost it on me one day, and he was like, I can't take it. We always lose, and you're always in a good mood about it. Shut the fuck up. And he's like, this is serious. So I'm like, okay, fair. I totally see your point. And now that it was really driven home when we've got her singing, well, they're like, I couldn't take it.
It's not. It's almost like I just want to be like, ladies, not now.
Not
we
now.
are booked solid down here.
Not now.
The stock market's tanking. Everything.
And don't worry,
heads are falling off.
They're up for a quick 11-minute ride to space in full glam in their bell-bottom spacesuits.
Mission accomplished. dumb bitches.
Equality is
I don't even know what to say
here.
to men anymore when I need to say why we deserve this or that.
Oh my God.
Because all they would have to say is like, what about that all female? And I'd be like, yeah, you're right. We're losers. How about how after we talked about the Challenger, you know, when I did the expose where I said how like they didn't actually explode and they just like plummeted to Earth, and the only reason that they couldn't survive really is because there was no ejection option. There were no parachutes or anything. Matt Narani texted me, what if there are no parachutes on the Challenger because there was no room due to all of the tampons they packed? Oh, good times.
That's really
good
funny.
one, Matt Naroni.
That's funny.
But anyway, I hate all those ladies, and Gail King can suck my dick, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Never, ever.
I mean, Jesus, Gail.
Okay, but serious question. If somebody came to you and said, Susie, free ride to outer space. We're manning this crew. We want you to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Are you saying no?
No.
Right.
But I'm also not participating in all this press that they did.
Right.
And photo shoots acting like they're badass astronauts.
God, that
Go
like they just got
fuck
back from a
yourself.
mission.
Yeah.
I can't even.
I'm not
with
doing that. I'd be
No, I
more
would
like
not.
Lance Bass. I'd just hop in there, go for his. You know how
Dude,
like
I forgot
that's all,
he fucking went to space.
I don't even know if he ended up going, but that's all he talked about for like 10 years.
Oh, I do remember that. Yes.
But it was like this sense of like he's just taking anybody that'll take him in this
Right.
rocket. He's not doing photo shoots.
That was so
Anyway,
dumb.
let's move on. All right. This was a question I had. This was in the news, and it was like, what are my feelings about that? So there was a man who attempted to cash in 389 chips from a casino
Okay.
that is now defunct. Like the casino doesn't exist anymore. And when the casino went out of business, they kind of give
Yeah.
like the control of the chips and payouts to like a firm
Oh, okay.
that handles it. So if you happen to have chips that you just took home and didn't cash out, then there's a company that tends to handle
good.
it.
Good.
Okay.
This isn't
So-
like you got a gift card at a store that went out of business and now that gift card isn't
Right. This
good
is
anymore.
like
Okay,
you
proper. You get
still
your money back.
Deserve the money,
Oh,
right?
this is good to know.
So
For
he
that,
was
none of the times I've won 0 times. So I
For
don't know
the
why this would be
zero
for the 0
chips
times I've
we
won.
have.
So never mind.
So he had about $60,000 worth of chips. And it closed in 1984. I mean, this is, yeah. Okay. However, they are not going to honor them because evidently these particular chips had, I don't know how they know, but they had been stolen by an employee, like an employee took some home.
Oh, that's why I waited so long.
No, because the former
What?
employee took them home in 1990,
Okay.
put them in a bank deposit box, and then forgot about it or died or whatever. And then the bank gets control over the contents.
Yeah.
And then they have these auctions where you can buy stuff from safe deposit box.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he bought them. And then they're saying that because they're like looted.
Stolen goods. Mm-hmm. Well,
But I don't like it.
oh, I gotta say, I'm on the side of justice in this one and the law in this one, because if that were stolen jewelry,
Yeah.
if somebody came and stole that adorable pencil bracelet that I gave you, and then that person had it in their safe deposit box and
I
then
disagree.
died, and then it went to the children or somebody else, it's still stolen goods that needs
Yeah, I
to
understand
be.
that principle.
But it's just been handed down. So what? We wait a couple generations.
No, I don't think that. I think that it should be.
She silent laughed, and that's not fair for everybody listening. And me, okay.
I don't think that. I think that the auctioneer, in that case, the bank, has to demonstrate that the stuff they're selling is
Okay.
legit.
That's who it. You're right. If the
I think.
auctioneer, I agree. Okay, I
Yeah.
think that yes, because if you're not assuming that you're buying stolen goods from an auction house.
From a
It's the
bank.
auction.
Yeah,
and they
from-
should be protected. You should be protected if
That's
you
right.
are the buyer who doesn't have an aware. Yeah, you're right. I'm with you. It's on the auction house.
I would be so mad if I bought poker chips from a bank auction
Yeah.
and then couldn't pay out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we concluded that.
But I do think that it's the middleman there is a responsible party.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, stolen goods can't be, like, honored.
Right. Exactly. Right. We can't just say, like, okay, here you go.
Right. We waited long enough.
Right. We sold
Okay.
it to 2 people, and now it's,
Fair game.
fair. Right.
All right. I mean, there's so many good, fun things. There's, like,
Oh.
little things. Well, first, a good, fun thing.
It's kind of like an appetizer. I love it. Good,
Yeah,
fun
it's
things.
just a little
You know how I
snack.
like a lot of a little?
You do. It's like a buffet today.
I love it.
And on the buffet is therapy, because this show is sponsored by BetterHelp, and we are thankful that they do, because we all need therapy.
We all need it. And BetterHelp makes it so easy and affordable to get therapy.
Yeah. For whatever. You stressed? You get a bad relationship?
You a
You
person in
grieving?
2025?
Are you on this earth?
Right.
Well, you're in luck, because they have people that can help you with all that.
They can probably
And-
talk to me about the people who aren't on this earth, taking trips to outer
Yeah.
space.
Are
They're
you
making me
joking?
mad. Yeah.
They can even help you, even if you leave this earth. And I think a lot of people are struggling with their well-being, their
Yes.
just sense of, like, I feel like a lot of people, I shouldn't say most, a lot of people are feeling rudderless and sort of like
that's a
their
good
house
word
is
for it.
built on the sand.
Yeah.
It feels like there's nothing to count on.
And a lot of people are managing a lot of stress right now and not
Yeah.
aware about how much more stress has been dumped onto their shoulders. And they're just trying to carry on like business as usual, going, why is it
Like,
so
why
much
am I
harder
falling
right now?
apart?
Yeah.
Why am I drinking a bottle of wine a day?
Right.
Whatever it is.
Right.
It's like, because life's super hard and you might need help with all of that stuff. So your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/braincandy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was a New York Times article. They have a series called A Great Read, and
Oh,
those
yeah,
are always
yeah.
fun.
know
And
that
they
list.
did a great read about the family who accidentally ended up having like a gazillion octopuses. Do you
Oh, is this the
remember
one
them?
that had the and then it was pregnant and had the, oh, I remember this.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so there was
Oh,
this
no.
family whose
Octopi.
son...
Yeah,
son-
right. And they set up the tank and made it all, oh my God, I talked about this.
Yes, you did. This was
And
a
they were
Sarah
like,
story.
surprise, you were pregnant with $1 million.
Yes.
Oh, no, what happened?
Okay, so if you did not hear that episode, Sarah told us about a little boy who loved octopuses with all of his heart, and his dad found out that it was legal to have an octopus as a pet, and he was like, hey, I'm not going to make any promises, but maybe we could do that. And then the boy cried like of joy, like that this
Right.
could possibly be true. He posted it online, and then everyone was like, well, now you got to get the octopus,
have
and you
to,
can't just
right.
say that. Okay, so then he gets the octopus. Unbeknownst to him, this octopus was fertile Myrtle.
Oh, yeah.
And she had a gazillion little octopus's eggs in her body. And that is very unusual. Evidently, these gals aren't known for their fertility.
Oh.
And so that was unlikely to begin with. Then these eggs were in the tank, and he had to tell the son, okay, guess what? This octopus is preggers. And the son, since he's an octopus expert, knows that that means she's probably going to die soon, because they typically give birth and then
I
die.
saw the octopus teacher. Oh,
And so he's
God.
like grieving, but then they
Oh,
have to
no.
like foster these eggs. These eggs are not supposed to hatch. Like, it's very unlikely that they're even going to come to be. Then they have all these, I think they had 51 octopus eggs.
I remember them describing it like a chandelier. Does that like that? It was eggs that came out.
That word was in there. I don't.
I
remember
remember
why.
that word.
Yeah.
That it was eggs, like a chandelier hanging from. Yeah. Covered in eggs. Okay. I remember this. So coming back.
Okay. Well, anyway, so the guy started this TikTok, and everyone's invested in the whole story, even though it's like it's gone viral now. We even talked about it.
Right.
And then there was the backlash, and people were like, "That's crazy," kind of like I did.
You can't own an octopus. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing? Stop it!
Right.
And I said, I have bad news for them about exponential, reproduction. Well. So he found homes for all the potential eggs at universities and labs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And like responsibly. However, all of them died. Every last one of those damn eggs died.
Oh.
And the mom died.
Oh.
And he's getting all this backlash from everybody saying, stop being stupid.
No.
And he has to delete his TikTok and...
Oh, no.
So basically, he goes into the New York Times for this update, and he's just like, listen, he's like, you can tell he's just tired.
He's worn down.
He's just trying to be a good dad.
Yeah.
People like me are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, God.
And it really, it was sort of a cautionary tale. It was framed as a cautionary tale about like, getting a pet you can't handle.
Wait,
like,
you don't even have a happy ending for me?
no.
That's it? Story over?
Yeah, because that's how they framed it too.
No.
Like the dad was like, "This isn't really a happy ending." They used that phrase. Like it was awful. Like I had to delete everything, and they're all dead. I don't know how the son's doing, but he's gonna be interested in boys or girls soon, so he'll be fine.
Oh, God.
And stop fixating on octopuses.
You said this wasn't going to end well.
I did say that.
You said this only
Nobody
ends
ever
one way
listens to me.
in tragedy. It's kind of like how you say this is what happens when you take a kid to the pool. It always ends in tears. I never forget. Every time I go to the pool, I think about this. It was such a good joke. You'd say, or just fact.
Such a good truth.
You would
joke.
Say they're either crying because they have to leave, or they're crying because you've overstayed.
Somebody hurt them. And you
should have left an hour
drowned.
ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're sunburned. That's
such a good joke.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
And now it applies to getting stupid ass pets.
Just
you shouldn't
exotic
have got.
pets. I mean,
We have not domesticated octopuses
what are
yet.
we doing?
But I can see why it's tempting, because it's sort of like they're so smart, You're
saying this to somebody who has probably wasted a good 6 hours in an evening going down a rabbit hole of watching some
an octopus
dudes.
hole.
Yep. An octopus's garden. Just going down into it.
Yep. Well,
I'm like,
and that's what the
look
dad
at how
said.
Sasha hunts. Oh, she's such a good hunter. It was some name like that. It's like, oh, yeah.
Well, this dad was saying, like, they're so individual. It's like how,
They have personalities.
yeah, it's like how Bert on Sesame Street felt about his paperclip collection. Like, he would always say that they were so individual, you love each one for a different reason. And octopuses evidently are like, they have personality.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you love them, you want them, but they are meant to be in the ocean.
They absolutely are. Oh.
Okay.
And on my plate is calamari.
Right.
Let's
They're
be
delicious.
Real. They're so fucking good. But if they're going to, like, I want the mother who just had the babies who's going to die. It's like, let me ingest some of that delicious.
Yeah, right. Let's put it to use.
Yeah.
That's a happy ending.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. They are really smart, and I do feel guilty for eating them sometimes. But if you don't want to be eaten, why do you taste so fucking good?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
There's so many good things. Okay. How about let's talk about, how that one time we talked about how the cows are always missing.
Suze, I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's happening still. Times. It's happening in Colorado.
Oh, yeah. It's happening everywhere.
Like
in the
a
US.
lot. And I read that all the babies are missing.
Yes, the calves.
There are no calves, which has
That's
never
right.
happened. And they don't, and the place where it was, look, and I'm telling you about the story that you're probably about
I'm
to tell
so
me.
into it, though. I'm like, yeah, sister.
The place that they were, look, you couldn't even get to with a tractor or with a trailer or anything. They were like 100 and something miles away from a road. What? Tell me that's not aliens.
Okay, right. So, like, this was a year or two ago.
It's
we
fucking aliens.
talked about the New York Times, put it on the bingo card, story
That's right.
about abducted cows and cows who had their tongues removed.
With surgical precision.
And when they would leave them like dead, it would be like tongue removed, genitals.
Yeah. And no blood, and like blood drained.
Oh,
in a
yeah,
weird way.
blood, nothing.
No blood.
No blood.
Like, what are you doing?
Even the New York Times is like, okay, this is obviously aliens. Like
the New
at the
York
time,
Times.
It was like, okay, like let's just be honest here. Okay.
This
So
is aliens.
at the time we got freaked out about it because it was like, oh, holy shit, this seems real. And there's like a rash of it. It's not just like one. Okay. So this is what's weird. There was this story about the missing cows. This was Yahoo News, and the article was basically describing a situation where in a small town, dozens and dozens, I think actually hundreds, between 100 and 200 cows were missing, many of them calves, like you're saying.
I think it was in Colorado.
I think it may have been.
Yeah.
And everyone's looking for them. They're doing aerial searches.
Yep.
And not one time in the article were they like, doesn't this sound like what the New York Times was talking about last year? They are convinced there's some thief.
No, there is no thief. It's aliens.
That's not possible.
It's aliens.
Because they would have to feed them all. We would be able to find out who is doing that easily.
Right. Because you would know if all of a sudden
They're branded.
If your neighbor next door all of a sudden showed up with 163 more cows than he had yesterday.
And they're like, what?
What? I just got them. Anywhere where you would store cows, that many cows, people would be aware of cows going missing and would report that and would know. That,
This is what is annoying to me, that the article...
Dude.
They don't have to believe that it's aliens. I know that's crazy.
But
they could say like a lot of people are starting to find this throughout the US. Here are the examples, and that some outlets are saying that some people tie it to extraterrestrial shenanigans. Uh-oh.
It's all real.
Okay, is that what you're saying? I thought you were going to do the old devil's advocate.
No, I'm
That
not.
was the
There's
look
no.
you gave
There
me.
is no devil's advocate. I was just thinking of this other story that I read and then dug a little deeper into, but haven't gone deep enough into to bring up on the podcast. But this was an unsealed CIA document of a KGB report from, I can't remember what year, but it was unsealed, and I want to say 2022 or 23. Okay. And it was talking about how they, military personnel came across these 5 alien beings who then morphed into one and then turned 25 plus soldiers into essentially limestone. And the CIA documents are there. And then I looked it up and they're like, yeah, these documents, we're like unsure if that, like, this can't be verified, but this is it. You can read the document.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at you.
I know. I have the same responses.
I'm laughing at number one, that I didn't see that coming, specifically the limestone part. And also that, like, do we know these guys' names?
A single-page CIA report has gone viral of reviving one of the most startling claims of the Cold War, that Soviet soldiers were allegedly turned to stone following an encounter with an unidentified flying object. The incident, believed to have occurred in 1989 or 1990, was first detailed in a 250-page KGB file reportedly obtained by the CIA after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. The document summarizes coverage by Canadian Weekly World News and Ukrainian newspaper and describes what it calls a horrific picture of revenge at the part of extraterrestrial creatures, a picture that makes one's blood freeze. According to the KGB file, a unit of 25 Soviet troops was conducting training drills near a military base in Ukraine or possibly Serbia, depending on the source, when they spotted a low-flying spaceship in the shape of a saucer overhead. Oh, and then now it's behind. The rest is behind a paywall.
Oh, okay, okay, but like. That helps me understand, because we're obviously not going to know detail because the KGB and Russia and Soviet blah, blah, blah aren't going to tell us. Okay. But we do know that there are tons of these encounters that we're learning about. Yeah. Official government people, including like the families of those guys are still alive. That was 1990.
Right. And they're all saying, yeah, this really happened. And then they say that they in another document I read that dug a little deeper into, what they discovered, they found a light emitting machine or something that did turn things into a structure that is similar to sandstone.
Can you imagine if that's how you died? That is not how I want to go. You're like, I could think of worse ways.
No, it's like Pompeii and what's her name? Medusa. And
Holy crap. I just wish they would just like either make yourselves known or buzz off.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That's their whole thing. It's like
they don't want to do that.
Yeah, we would love for them to buzz off, but we are a inferior life form.
Yeah.
So
we don't know what their
We are. We just don't have the technology. We are like 2 seconds old.
Okay.
Do you want to
hear about Red Receipts?
Oh.
Or the Twister documentary?
I want to hear about Red Receipts. Like Red, R-E-A-D or R-E-D?
R-E-A-D.
Oh. Okay. I thought you were going to tell me something about, those carbon, when you go to the dry cleaner and you get like a little receipt and they cut and they pull off a little piece and they give you a red one and they keep the white one. I thought you were going to tell me that like those are like toxic with materials in it. And I was like, I fucking went to the dry cleaner yesterday and they're trying to poison me. I get it. Like, I really thought that was what, I'm so glad I asked. No, I want to hear about the other thing. Listen,
I can't.
How was I to know? I'm going to photograph. It's technically a pink receipt more. It's more of a pink receipt. But I thought we were just calling it.
Dying. Okay. Okay, well then, I don't feel like your heart is in the Twister doc, so I'm going to say, do you want Twister doc or apologies on reality TV?
Well, obviously, apologies on reality TV.
Okay. Whew. Well, funny. Okay. Well, this article, but it really wasn't an article. It was more like an interactive situation. It was also in the pudding and is so great. And it's analyzing the apologies on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And it's so fun. And you would love it.
That's great. I bet there ain't an apology in sight. It's I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry that you're such a bitch. Not you,
The article's great because and the pudding in general is great because, yes, they're framing it through this lens of like reality TV and like it's super fun and like fun to watch the clips and stuff. But they really are trying to teach like what is a good apology, what components does that have? Like, and how frequently do we see it on this show and other reality shows?
As a therapist, I love this.
Yeah. Okay. So the way the pudding structures all of their stuff is that like, it's best on a laptop or a computer, but you could do it on your phone. But like you hover over stuff and it'll play, and whether it's
cool.
music or video or whatever. And so you can see exactly what they're talking about. And so they're taking this show, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I think they're doing one season. I don't know which season. But they say there are 187 times when an apology is either being attempted or demanded in the season. And they are analyzing them.
This is great.
And they say that a good apology is when you say you're sorry, own it, show remorse, and try to do better. Those
Yes.
4 components. But for the sake of their research, they realized that was unrealistic. And so they accepted, like, if you said you're sorry and the other person accepted.
The
I know,
bar is
low
low.
bar.
You don't even have to show remorse. That's so easy, ladies. Okay.
Well, one hopes when you say sorry, you're showing remorse, although we all know that's not true.
right.
But it was like they say they're sorry for whatever, and then the other person says, okay, thank you, or whatever.
Thank you. That's all I need
And
to
it
hear.
is less than half of
I think even half is generous.
well, it's again low bar,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And then they categorized it by character and said like who did the most apologies, and that was Lisa Barlow, which
Okay.
is evidently some famous housewife lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she is apologizing the heck out of that season. And however, they were trying to show how just because somebody apologizes a lot
Oh,
doesn't mean that they mean it,
right.
or that it's a good one, or
Right.
that they've changed in any way. So even though she had the most apologies by far, she also had the most shitty apologies. 81% of hers
Whoa.
were considered bad apologies. The kind where you're like, well, I'm sorry, but you are a
Yes.
fucking loser.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry you smelled like a hospital, or whatever the heck. Like they always insult each other. Okay. And then there's a gal named Jen Shaw. She is now in prison
Oh, yes. I've heard of this.
for fraud.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah. And she has a
Oh,
lot
my
of
God.
problems because she actually has a fair percentage of good, quote unquote, apologies.
Well, yeah, but she's doing the most bad shit. She's going to jail. You should be
They were
apologizing.
trying to show how even when you do good apologies, when you say you're sorry, own it, show remorse, and say you're going to do better, that like she lacks in the action category. So like she repeats it over and over later and keeps doing the same stuff. And so she seems sorry at the time, but she's just like incapable or unwilling to change.
I think that this is an important thing to look at, an important
I know.
thing to, because if we really zoom out
Yes.
and reflect on what this teaches us, it teaches us that, and when you get to watch it, play out on a reality show where you get to see maybe the start of the fight, how it escalated, the resolution, all that kind of stuff, you can see that forgiveness and moving forward is about so much more than just your words. That without any of those elements, without the action behind it, it's not enough. It's not a genuine apology.
You can't trust
it's not,
it.
You can't trust it. It's
Yeah.
not, doesn't show real adult healthy behavior. You need all of that, and I think it's important for people to know the elements of an apology. Unfortunately, because healthy relationships don't make for good television, we don't get to see a lot of this play out.
Thanks
and
for
that's
saying
especially
that.
unfortunate for female relationships.
Thank you for reminding me. Another element of the Pudding's article about this that I really loved was that they acknowledged that. They weren't saying they weren't vilifying these gals. They were saying they're doing exactly what they are hired to do.
Right.
These are people who do not even really know each other outside of this or would ever hang out or like each other in real life. being forced to spend an inordinate amount of time together, and that they are being produced to behave this way. So this wasn't about like making them look like shitty people, even if they are in some cases, that it was about a bigger thing. And I appreciated that because I hate any kind of thing where it's like reality people are just garbage.
Or women are so catty. I hate that one. It's like, really? Have you watched the men on the challenge? They fight this. It's the same. It's just the dynamic of, or like the nature of reality television. That's what you're going to get.
There you go.
When you create the recipe
story.
for it. Good one. I liked that. That was interesting.
Thank you. Check out the pudding in general. They are great. If you just
it sounds
check them
good.
out. Anytime it's like, oh, this is fun. It's never a dull moment. They have a great one right now about the family tree of music. So it'll be like a song from like 100 years ago, and then you'll work it all the way down to Tupac or Kendrick or whatever. It's awesome. Animal sounds, poker chips. We covered it all.
Yeah, we did. Thorough. And I laughed a bunch. And aliens. Oh, man.
And aliens and wacky tobacco.
And I might be psychic.
Sarah's psychic at long last.
There you go, people.
All right, people. See you next time. We love you.
Bye.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.
Shopify's point of sale system helps you sell at every stage of your business. Need a fast and secure way to take payments in person? We've got you covered. How about card readers you can rely on anywhere you sell?
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, that too. Want one place to manage all your online and in-person sales? That's kind of our thing. Wherever you sell, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/listen. Shopify.com/listen.